Hello everyone and welcome back to F1 22. Today we'll be returning to the Am I Faster Than series. The goal is to choose a Formula 2 driver and a circuit, and we try to beat their qualifying time from real life, of course, doing it in the game. We have 1 hour to do it with no setups allowed, so we just head into time trial mode and we will go from there. So who are we trying to beat today? I mean, you've seen it in the title of the video. We are trying to beat Cem Bolukbasi, or
Cem Bölükbaşı.
is apparently the correct pronunciation according to Google Translate. I don't speak Turkish, but regardless, we're going to try and beat his qualifying time from the round at Paul Ricard. He qualified 22nd on the grid with a time of 1 minute 45.773, so we're going to see if we can beat that lap time. That is our first target, and if we can do that, we'll see if we can achieve a little more in the rest of the hour. But that is our first target, so let's go chase that. So here we go then on our very first run. This is absolutely a zero practice. Literally I've just turned the game on in the last couple of minutes, so we'll see how this goes. Very nervous. I always am when I first get into it, and you know, by the end of the hour I will be much more confident and much faster, of course. But yeah, to begin with, on the F1 games, it always just takes me a while to just get into the rhythm. This game, you know, it really rewards getting into a rhythm and you know, having confidence and knowing exactly what the car's going to do and how to get the most out of it. So yeah, it does you know, reward you know, spending that time practicing. We've already made a mistake going rather slowly there, so we go again, and hopefully we'll be able to get a complete lap in. But yeah, especially to begin with, but even towards the end, I almost did it there. I ruined the lap before it even started, because if you go off the road in that section before you even start the lap, it will discount the lap. It won't count the following lap if you go off the road in the last sector. So yeah, we have to be careful even starting the lap. We don't run off the road at all, otherwise that's an instant restart. So I just want to get a lap time on the board to begin with, and then we'll try to improve on it as the 1 hour you know, goes on. So we'll see how it goes. We're being very cautious, and yeah, just giving the track limits plenty of respect to begin with, and just basically navigating our way around the lap and getting used to the car as well, as we were almost certainly off circuit there. We were very close, but got away with it as we open the DRS and run down towards the chicane for the first time, and we will hit the anchors here, and yeah, just braking very early, just taking it nice and easy, and we'll just try and get this lap in. Paul Ricard has been a circuit I feel like I've done alright at in the past in terms of you know, Formula 2 races, but we'll see how it goes. It's put it this way, it's a circuit I know I can drive confidently around. I mean, with all the runoffs, there's not a terrible amount that can go wrong here if you do go wide, but in qualifying, or in terms of time trial rather, there's not really any difference between having barriers on the edge of the track or a runoff. You lose the lap either way. But anyway, we're rounding the final few corners now at the end of our very steady first lap, so this lap time will not be anything fancy, but it will give us an indication of where the pace is at the start of the session, and we can see how much we can improve. It's a 1 minute 49. That's a terribly slow lap, 0.710, and we're quite a ways off Cem Bolukbasi, and well, we've got yeah, almost 4 seconds to gain, so plenty of work to do. So we'll see if we can improve on that. We're starting our next flying lap here. This is probably about 10 minutes later when we're actually able to improve on that time again. So yeah, it does, you know, take me a while to get into the rhythm and actually get a clean lap in, because, you know, you only have to be out by fairly small margins, and the lap gets disqualified, as has happened many times. We were very close through turn 2 there, both on the inside and the outside, but we were able to get away with it, and now we run down towards turn 3, and just being a little bit cautious on the curbs. If you take too much, it can destabilize the car, and we don't want to be doing that. We missed that apex by a long way, but it does give us a nice run through this left-hander, nice and easy, and onto the straight. We are green, so that is the main thing, and we can hope that this is a big improvement. Confidence has risen massively over the previous few attempts, and now we're sort of starting to get into that rhythm where we can start setting some proper representative lap times that aren't just going slow and steady just to complete the lap. So now we're starting to push on. Slight tap of the brakes there into the right-hander. You could probably get through there flat, but just to to get that confidence, we just tap the brakes slightly and make sure we make it around, because most laps don't get this far around the circuit before something goes wrong, either leaving track limits or spinning, having a slide, something that loses too much time. So at this point we do want to just make sure we get the lap in. That said, I do feel pretty good through the final sector, so there's not often too many mistakes in that part of the circuit. But anyway, we run towards the finish line now to improve yet again, and this one is by a chunk. We set a lap time of 1 minute 46.513, and now we're just under 3/4 of a second away from Cem Bölükbaşı. So that was a massive improvement. We're still slower, but we're in the ballpark now. We just need to find a little bit more time, and we will be in contention to match his time. So here we go then, getting our next lap underway. We're probably about 25 minutes into the hour now as we open DRS and run down towards turn 1.
Last lap was a 1 minute 46.5.
And confirmation of our previous lap time there of 46.5. So yeah, we do need to just find that extra 0.8 of a second will comfortably get us ahead. So that is the kind of improvement we need to be looking at, 7 to 8 tenths, and that'll get us around about where Cem Bölükbaşı is. So we run through the first sector, gaining some nice time through there, missing a few of the apexes, but in general just doing a much better job in carrying a lot more speed and confidence through that sector, and we have a chunk of improvement on our hands as we now run down towards the chicane in the middle sector, getting on the brakes a bit early there, being a bit conservative still, because I do want to get this lap completed and make sure we get this booked in. So it does probably cost us a little bit on in terms of ultimate time, but yeah, I do want to just keep these improvements coming. Again, not going flat out through that slight right-hander, still building up the confidence a little bit at this stage. I'm sort of 90% there at this point, but there's still there's plenty of room for improvement, as you can see. So missing the apex there slightly, but it shouldn't cost us a terrible amount, as we still, I think, managed to carry some decent amount of speed now into the penultimate corner, just trying to get it nice and tight on the inside so it opens up the final corner gently on the power. Slow corner exit, so it's quite a tricky traction zone, but we get on the power nicely and cross the line, and we find another chunk of improvement, and that's going to put us very close to Cem Bölükbaşı's time. In fact, we are just slightly faster. It's a 1 minute 45.761, 12 thousandths of a second faster than Cem Bölükbaşı. So that is job done. We have successfully beaten his time. So yeah, here we go, burnouts, yay. But it's not over yet. We're going to see how high we can climb up the leaderboard of the 2022 qualifying times at Paul Ricard. So while we do successfully get that complete the challenge, we have more work to do. Our personal best puts us between Ollie Caldwell and Cem Bolukbasi in 21st and 22nd, so I guess that lap time would let us qualify in 22nd position. So our next target then, I suppose, is Ollie Caldwell, and his lap time was 1 minute 45.743, 0.018 seconds faster than us, or 18 thousandths of a second, so not much in it. There was, what would that be, 300ths of a second between Ollie Caldwell and Cem Bolukbasi, and we managed to fit in that gap. So Caldwell is our next target, so let's go try and chase down that lap time. We get our next lap then underway as we start the main straight, moving across to the right once again to shorten the run.
Our best lap so far is a 1:45.7.
To the first corner, 1:45.7 now our fastest lap. Hopefully we can break into the 44s soon. We don't get a very good run through the first few corners. You can see our ghost car ahead of us there, so hopefully we can get a nice run through here and try and make up some of that lap time, getting a good run there actually through those two corners, and now through the remainder of the first sector. A bit of a moment there as we run a bit wide, and that's borderline on track limit. I think we were just in it. Obviously we didn't get our lap disqualified, so it must have been in, but only just barely. But we're still red on the delta at the moment, so we do need to do something a little more aggressive here into the chicane. Missing the first apex there a little bit, but carrying good speed through, and we come out the other end green. So just being a bit more aggressive, braking later, and just carrying better speed, and that paying dividends over maybe a slightly suboptimal line through there. But anyway, again through the right hander, just having to back it off a bit for the confidence yet again, and now again could have carried probably a bit more speed through there too, but still we are definitely going to improve on our previous lap if we keep this up. So we'll just have to keep it clean through the last two corners, and we're again just improving all the time, carrying better speed through the corners. Each lap we improve, and now on the exit of the final corner, getting the power down nicely there. DRS open to the line, and we will see what our lap time is.
The time last lap was a 1 minute 45.0.
It's a 45.0. We've improved by over 7/10 of a second, and we smashed Caldwell's time by 0.699 seconds. It's a 45.044, and that lap will put us just behind Callan Williams and Enzo Fittipaldi in 13th and 14th, just ahead of Roberto Merri and Clement Novalak in 15th and 16th. So sort of a lower mid-pack qualifying, I guess we would call that. So getting there, we're in amongst it now. We just need a little bit more lap time, and we'll be inside of the top 10. So our next target is Enzo Fittipaldi. His qualifying time was 1 minute 45.035, so just 9,000ths of a second faster than us. So he's our next target. Let's go for it. Here we are then, ready for another attempt. We're about halfway through our 1 hour time limit, so still a fair bit of time left, but it will start counting down before we know it. So we'll need to get a few more good laps in, hopefully, before time is up. So we actually get a nice run onto the main straight to start this lap. It's a little bit tricky to get the lap started sometimes, I will admit.
Okay, that last lap was a 1 minute 45.0.
Thank you, Mark. But I've gone back and had a look at our previous attempts at this challenge, in previous games I mean, and the first time we did this, thank you, Alarm. First time we did this at Bahrain for Mahavir Raghunathan, we were fast enough to qualify 4th on the grid. The second time at Sochi we broke the lap record, and the third time at Monza in F1 2021 we were fast enough for pole position that year. So we've got a pretty good record in the past. I don't know if pole's on the cards today, but we are gaining a chunk of time here as we head towards the middle sector chicane. Alrighty, so we get going for the next attempt, and as always, we will just about throw the lap away before it starts, but we want to get a nice run onto the straight, taking it nice and easy, and then getting the power down and moving it to the right to make sure we get a nice run onto the straight. Probably could have been a bit better, to be honest, but we are green versus our previous lap as we head towards the first corner, and just probably slightly wider of the ideal apex, getting through turn 2 fairly nicely. Probably could have carried more speed through those 2 corners, but we're green, so that is the main thing. Heading now through the next 2 corners, getting through there rather nicely as well. Now taking trying to take a late apex there, but we kind of just missed the apex instead, and missing that one as well. But it's not always the end of the world, because it does make this corner much easier to manage, and we are still green, so that is the most important thing. So long as we're improving, I am happy. Green is good. Anyway, we now head towards the chicane where we threw the last lap away, and it's taken us another few minutes. We give that apex a wide berth, and now cut the next one quite significantly. Thankfully we get away with it, and we're still looking good in terms of lap time. So now we head towards the final sector, and we are green by almost 0.7 of a second, so we could be looking at massive improvement here. That'll put us well inside the top 10, provided this last sector all goes to plan. We'll find out what the lap we just lost previously would have been capable of, as we continue to work our way through the final few corners, and we've just got 2 to go now. Let's not make any silly mistakes here, as we just make sure we get through here, clipping that apex nicely, easy on the power, and now we'll run to the line and see what this lap time is as we come towards the line. It's a 1:44.224. That is a huge improvement, and that puts us well ahead of Enzo Fittipaldi, who did a 45.035. So that's an improvement of 0.8 of a second, just ahead of Fittipaldi, and that puts us between Teo Porcher and Felipe Drogovic, between 5th and 6th place in qualifying. So, you know, if we did that lap in qualifying, that would have put us P6. So that is a mega improvement on what we had done before. Unfortunately though, as hard as I tried, we had about 25 minutes left of the hour after that, and I wasn't able to improve again in that time. So yeah, it was the best lap I could do, 1:44.224. That is the best lap I could manage. Ultimately we were 0.353 seconds away from Logan Sargent, who set the pole time that day. So not too bad of an effort, and we continue our run of having fairly decent results in the sort of qualifying order. We set all of our best sectors on that final lap that we just did, so we did get a good lap together with no major mistakes. And here is the replay of that lap from the offboard. We're actually in Enzo Fittipaldi's car. Cem Bolukbasi is not actually an option in the game. I'm not sure if I mentioned that at the start of the video or not, but yeah, we've got Enzo Fittipaldi's car or Tatiana Calderon, who replaced Bolukbasi. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one. It's another successful attempt at the Am I Faster Than challenge. We did beat Cem Bolukbasi's qualifying time from Paul Ricard, and that was a target from the outset. Of course, this is just a video game, and there's a million other factors that go into it, track conditions and everything else. But anyway, that is all for this one. Really enjoy doing these just as a little challenge to do something different in time trial mode. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. Let me know what other combinations of drivers and circuits I should do for this challenge. And other than that, I will see you next time. Goodbye.